Comparing fractions. We'll compare both the cases in like fractions and unlike fractions. Consider like fractions. Like fractions are those in which we have same denominator. 4 upon 8 and 6 upon 8. Here in both the cases 8 is in denominator, so they are like fractions. Now consider two strips of paper which are of same length and divide them into 8 equal parts. The first one shade 4 parts and in the second one shade 6 parts. Here we can clearly see that the second one is representing more shaded portion compared to the first piece. From that we can tell that 6 upon 8 is greater. From this we can conclude that for like fractions, the fraction with greater numerator is always greater. Now take few examples. 3 upon 6 and 5 upon 6. Denominators are same, so compare the numerators. 5 is greater than 3, so we can directly tell that 5 upon 6 is greater. 4 upon 5 and 5 upon 5. Again, denominators are same, 5 is greater, so 5 upon 5 is greater than 4 upon 5. Now again consider 8 upon 6 and 5 upon 6. Here again denominators are same, 8 is greater than 5, so 8 upon 6 represents a greater portion. Now we'll look into unlike fractions. In unlike fractions, we will have two different cases. The first one is when numerators are same. Here 2 upon 3 and 2 upon 5. In both the cases, 2 is in numerator. Now again, take two similar strips of paper. The first one will divide that into 3 equal parts and the second one into 5 equal parts. Shade two portions from the first piece and same two portions from the second piece also. Now, in both the cases, we are considering the same number of pieces, but still, in the second case, we have cut the sheet of paper into more number of pieces, which makes each and every part smaller than the previous case. So, even though we are considering the same number of parts from each case, the first one represents more portion. That's why here we can tell 2 upon 3 is greater. Or to generalize this, for unlike fractions with same numerator, the fraction with smaller denominator is always greater. Now the other case of unlike fractions where we have different numerators and denominators. In this case, first we have to take the LCM of denominators. So 6 and 15, if we calculate the LCM for this, the LCM would be 30. Now, each and every fraction has to be converted into its equivalents in such a way that the denominator is 30. Consider the first fraction 5 upon 6. Here, to convert 6 into 30, we have to multiply it with 5. Now, both numerator and denominator we will multiply with 5 and it becomes 25 upon 30. In the similar manner, for the second fraction, 15 is there in the denominator. To make it as 30, we have to multiply 15 with 2. Multiply both numerator and denominator with 2. That gives 26 upon 30. Now, this is the same case as comparing the like fractions. Denominators are similar, so just compare the numerators and we can tell that 26 upon 30 is greater. So, from the original fractions, we have 13 upon 15 is greater compared to 5 upon 6. Now, let us practice comparing fractions using some examples. Say 1 upon 7 and 1 upon 4. Here, both the numerators are same. So, compare the denominators. When the numerators are same, the fraction with smaller denominator is greater. So, 1 by 4 would be greater. In the other case, 3 upon 5, 3 upon 7. Again, both the numerators are same. So, the denominators we have to compare. Fraction with smaller denominator is the first one, 3 upon 5. So this would be greater compared to 3 upon 7. Again take 2 upon 3 and 2 upon 4. Numerators are same. The smaller denominator is 3. So 2 upon 3 is greater than 2 upon 4. We'll take the example of 3 upon 4 and 2 upon 6. Here, these are unlike fractions with different numerators and denominators. So let us take the LCM 4 and 6 in second table. Now the LCM would be 2 into 2 into 3, that is 12. So every fraction we have to convert them into their equivalents. 4 can be made as 12 by multiplying this with 3. So both numerator and denominator multiply with 3 and write the fraction. And for the second case, we have to multiply the denominator with 2 so that it becomes 12. So both numerator and denominator multiply with 12. It becomes 4 upon 12. Now the denominators are same, so 9 upon 12 would be greater. From the original fractions, 3 upon 4 is greater. Comparing whole numbers with fractions, while doing this, 0 is always less than any of the fractions because the fractions we are considering here are always positive. They have positive numerator and denominator. So 0 will always be lesser than. Now, when we take any proper fraction, 1 will be greater than those proper fractions. Any number from 1 will be greater than a proper fraction. Say if we take 3 and 8 by 9. 8 by 9 is proper because numerator is lesser than denominator. So in this case, the whole number will be greater. Only 0 is a whole number which is lesser than the fractions. Now, if we want to compare a whole number with any improper fraction, say we have 2 and then 13 upon 2. This 13 upon 2 is an improper fraction because numerator is greater than denominator. In that case, first we have to convert the improper fraction into mixed fraction. For that, we have to do 13 divided by 2, which gives 6, 12, subtracting this 1. And we know how to convert improper to mixed fraction. So here it would be 2 is the whole number we are comparing. Write the question, that is 6, remainder upon the divisor. Now 13 upon 2 has got converted into a mixed fraction, 6 1 upon 2. Compare the whole part of mixed fraction with the whole number. Here it is 6. So obviously 6 is greater than 2. So we'll write that 13 upon 2 is greater than 2. We'll check with another example. Now consider we have to compare 6 and 13 upon 4. Again, 13 upon 4 is an improper fraction. So we'll convert this into a mixed fraction first. For that, we have to do the division. And when we write the mixed fraction, this 13 upon 4 becomes 3, 1 upon 4. Now we have to compare the whole number 6 with this mixed fraction. For that, just consider the whole part only from the mixed fraction 3 and 6. So 6 is greater than 3 and we can write it like this. There can be another case like when we have to compare 7 with 50 upon 7. 50 upon 7 is an improper fraction. When we convert this improper fraction into a mixed fraction, we will get this as 7 1 upon 7 and 7 here. Now when we compare these two things, both have same whole number. In this case, the mixed fraction has got something in addition to the whole number. So this mixed fraction will become greater. Similarly, we can compare the mixed fractions among themselves. Now, while considering the mixed fractions, the first thing we have to consider is the whole part of the fraction. Here, 2 is the whole part in this fraction and 4 here. We will just compare the whole parts, and now whichever is greater, that particular fraction would be greater. Mixed fraction is usually written as a whole part followed by a proper fraction. So we just have to compare the whole parts. If at all the whole part for both the cases is same. Considering this example, in this the whole part is 4 in both the cases. In such a case, we have to compare the proper fractions here, that is 2 upon 3 and 5 upon 6. Here for 3 and 6, we know 6 is the LCM. So if we convert this into 6, this particular fraction, we have to multiply both numerator and denominator with 2, and then it becomes 4 upon 6. Now while comparing 4 upon 6 and 5 upon 6, 5 upon 6 is greater. That is why from the mixed fractions, the fraction with 5 upon 6 would be greater. Let us do another example for this mixed fraction part. Consider 3 1 upon 3. This is a mixed fraction. And 3 4 upon 5. Now here again the whole parts are same. So compare the proper fractions from both the fractions, mixed fractions. Now the LCM would be 15, as 3 and 5 both are prime. LCM would be just a product of those two numbers. The first one can be converted into equivalent by multiplying both numerator and denominator with 5. So this becomes 5 upon 15. And the second one by multiplying it with 3. Both numerator and denominator with 3. So second one becomes 12 upon 15. So 12 upon 15 is greater than 5 upon 15. So here we can write 12 upon 15 means 4 upon 5, and 4 upon 5 is there in this particular mixed fraction. So this mixed fraction is greater. Now we will practice few more questions. Consider we have to compare 6 upon 6 with 3 upon 3. When we have such a question, we can directly see that both numerator and denominator, which means this fraction is a whole number 1, and 3 upon 3 can also be written as a whole number 1. Both are equal, 1 equal to 1. So these two fractions are also equal to one another. Again, take another example to recap whatever we have seen in this video. 2 upon 3 and 2 upon 4. These are unlike fractions with same numerator too. So in such a case, a fraction with smaller denominator would be greater. So 2 upon 3 would be greater here. Now again consider 5 upon 6 and 5 upon 5. Again same numerators. Fraction with smaller denominator is 5 upon 5. So 5 upon 5 should be greater. Consider 3 upon 4 and 2 upon 8. Both are unlike fractions, and 8 is a multiple of 4. So LCM here would be 8. The first fraction we have to take its equivalent in such a way that denominator will have 8. So multiplying both numerator and denominator with 2, it becomes 6 upon 8, and then we have 2 upon 8 this side. So 6 upon 8 it would be 5 upon 7 and 15 upon 21. 7 and 21, 21 is multiple of 7, so LCM would be 21. For the first one, we have to convert this into its equivalent fraction such a way that denominator is 21, multiplying with 3 makes 15 upon 21, and this is also 15 upon 21. So both the fractions would be equal. So even the initial fractions would be equal to each other. Now consider any mixed fractions again. 4, 3 upon 7 and 3, 2 upon 3. For mixed fractions, check the whole part first. If they are different, the one with greater value would be greater. If not, Consider the case 3 5 upon 6 and 3 8 upon 9. Here the whole parts are same. In such a case, we have to compare the proper fraction from both the numbers. From both the fractions, take the proper fraction part, that is 5 upon 6 and 8 upon 9. Here if we take the LCM, 3, 2 and 3. So the LCM would be 18 here. We have to write the equivalent fractions for these two. The first one, denominator should be multiplied with 3 to make it as 18. It becomes 15 by 18. And for the second one, we should multiply with 2 to make it 18. So this becomes 16 by 18. So denominators are same. 16 is greater. So 8 upon 9 is greater. From these we can write that 3 8 upon 9 is greater. Like this we can compare the mixed fractions. For comparing any whole number with a fraction, first, we have to check whether the second one is a proper fraction or improper fraction. If it is a proper fraction, any number from 1 would be greater than that particular proper fraction. Only 0 would be lesser. Say if we have to compare 0 and 5 upon 6, 0 is nothing. So obviously 5 upon 6 would be greater. But when we are comparing any whole number, say 2 with a improper fraction, in that case the improper fraction, first we have converted it into mixed fraction and then we have to start comparing. So 15 upon 2 can be written as 7 1 upon 2. Now compare both the whole part from the mixed fraction with the whole number. So here 7 is greater, so 7 1 upon 2 or 15 upon 2 is greater compared to 2. Similarly, if we have a whole number which is compared with another improper fraction in such a way that when we convert this improper fraction into mixed part, the whole number is equal to the other number with which we are comparing this fraction, then the mixed fraction will be always greater.